Hey y'all, welcome to Gadfly, the podcast about third parties, fringe candidates, and generally weird American electoral history. I'm Dusty Wilson.
I'm Una O'Leary.
And Una, we have a little bit of side business I want to bring up today because I'm feeling petty. This is a very petty episode, so I think starting off on like a little mouche bouche of petty.
I think of all my hustles as petty. They're all resulting from some form of pettiness.
Perfect. Do you remember back when we did an episode on 3 different grifts that were going on, like the ultra-right beer company?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have an update on 2 of those 3.
Great.
So ultra-right beer, which is run by a guy named Seth Weathers, is having the same problems as all of the other companies that Seth Weathers started, in that some people have gotten beer, most people have not.
Uh-oh.
There was one person who made a post to the Better Business Bureau saying that he did not get his beer and wanted a refund. And then the next day he got a UPS statement saying that it's in the mail. And what he got was 5 cans of loose beer.
No.
Not even the 6-pack, just 5 dented up loosies hanging around.
Just a black nondescript plastic bag, the kind that you shuffle away from a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, you know how like when you're, sending shitty mail when you're a child and you just wrap tape around a black trash bag and put an address on it and some stamps, and the post office can't say no, but I mean, they probably can.
The number of letters I've received in like full-scale manila envelopes with about 20-cent lick-on stamps from who knows when that are still legal and binding.
Oh yeah,
from my father. Like the man was trying to get on a watch list.
That's amazing. Yeah, if you're sending a letter with that many stamps, the letter has to be constructed out of letters you cut out of a magazine.
His handwriting wasn't great. We were halfway there.
Perfect. So that's going on with them.
5 Lucy's for this guy.
So the other thing is that the majority of people did get a heads up from UPS saying that the tracking information had been entered. But apparently that's a scam that a lot of people use, because if you can enter the tracking information without actually sending the stuff.
Oh yeah, I've been on the receiving end of a lot of those.
Oh yeah,
because I spend a lot of time on eBay.
Oh my god!
Refresh, please. I want to see the truck icon, please.
Nope. And so the other one, the one that I'm actually more amused by, is Bonadia Cosmetics, which was the cosmetic company started out by the chairwoman of the Libertarian Party as it stands now. Was designed to be just a turfy makeup company where it's for women, by women, and only gender critical women are allowed to use it.
Yeah, when you want conservative eyeshadow, but not Mary Kay.
Right. The website, I've been keeping an eye on it on a regular basis, and it stayed the exact same since we did the episode back in, if I remember right, March.
What is time?
It's a flat circle. But as of a week ago, the website is not found, error 404. It just goes to a blank page, does not exist.
Oh no.
So it seems like Bonadia Cosmetics, not to be confused with Bonadia Naturals, which was a feminine douching product.
Ooh.
Yeah, those are useful and not harmful in any way.
Oh, listeners, please never do that to yourself.
To be fair, it is all natural douching, so it's, Summer's Eve with essential oils.
All of it is bad.
It's all bad.
All of it is bad.
So, yeah, Bonadia Cosmetics seems to be gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Bonadia.
Yeah, I wish I could say I feel bad for the people who bought stuff ahead of time for that, but if you bought turfy makeup, fuck you. You got what you deserved.
I was like, did anyone? Like, I am super interested if anyone actually purchased.
Last I checked, Ulta is available online to just go to. So why would you even? I'm sure there's a shitty company at Ulta people could use. I'm not super familiar with the makeup world.
Yeah.
Hence, because I'm calling it makeup, and I'm sure there's like a very different word that people use on the YouTubes and the TikToks to talk about.
It's contouring.
Oh my god, no, I just use nail polish. It's all I need to know about. And I only use OPI because I'm basic.
Yes.
What, it's the same color with 8 different names and one of them's branded? Fuck me, I guess I'm buying all of them.
This one's not slightly racist. I will go with this color.
Yeah, Chopsticks and Stones. I still am not a huge fan of that
So
name, but
good.
it looks
So
pretty as
good.
fuck. Also, you wouldn't think it was a dark blue, but that's what you get. Anyway, so the reason I also bring that up is Miss Angela McArdle, the chairwoman of the Libertarian Party, is a character in today's topic of what we're talking about.
Oh.
So I don't know how many of y'all might remember, but a few months ago, back in February, if I remember right, January, February, in the middle of winter, Nick Brana of the People's Party and Angela McArdle, the Libertarian Party, threw an anti-war protest in the middle of winter in Washington, D.C. It was on the steps of the Memorial Reflecting Pool, and so few people showed up they could not fill the space between the stairs and the pool.
Yeah. So random ass tourists and, people who work for a living
Right.
were just passing on through.
Right. It was mostly attended by just weird individuals, and the basic theme was Ukraine caused the war that is against them, and we're specifically anti that war, despite multiple other wars occurring in the world at the exact same time.
Right, right. And despite the non-fact foundation upon which this justification is laid.
Right, right. Like you could do a whole anti-war protest just based on the Myanmar Civil War that's been going on since I believe 1948, and just even you could just even have a sit down of just how fucked up it is that Aung Suu Kyi, she was under house arrest for a large number of years because she was the opposition of the military dictatorship in Myanmar. Then she gets let out, and then she does a genocide. And maybe, just maybe, they knew what they were doing, but it kind of sucks to say that. And war is a multifaceted, weird thing. And that's what maybe we should be talking about how wars are just, very seldom like World War II, where it's like, oh, obvious evil. We're fighting that. It's almost
truly an
more
obvious
like
evil. And even then, as as I relearned from watching this very well put together British miniseries, I think A Friend Among Enemies, something like that. Anyway, it was about the two particular people within the Cambridge Five, the group of men who were actually like deep undercover, like they were British guys who were working for the Soviets because they had been actually radicalized towards communism because that's who were fighting fascists in the 30s.
Right.
Like, again, it's not black and white.
Yeah. Easily one of my favorite World War II facts is that along with Germany, Japan, and Italy, the fourth nation that fought alongside them was Finland. And it was solely because the Soviet Union took World War II as an opportunity to maybe just walk into Finland and retake it.
Right,
part of the empire.
Or how Ireland was neutral because well, we're not going to suddenly join up with the UK. Are you out of your mind?
Like, we're still learning how to walk as a government.
Yes, truly though.
But yeah, war is multifaceted and weird. But so many of these anti-war rallies, because I'm not going to be on the side of war is awesome and we should keep doing it because explosions. But I do think we need to sit down and be like, all right, it's multifaceted and weird. And there are a lot of perspectives behind people and why they fight. And the majority of these particular anti-war protests are not so much like, hey, we should stop war. It's more like, no, we should stop this particular war.
Yeah. And it's like the one with the obvious bad guy. Like,
yeah, NATO.
The one who's been like really like his PR campaign has been Bond villain this whole time.
Yeah.
That's who you want to saddle up next to.
Right. And of course, there's a lot of comparisons to World War I and World War II. Everyone gets taught World War II when they're in school. You kind of get a spattering of World War I. And the general idea you get behind that is it became a world war because no one made their alliances public. And so an anarchist shoots a duke and all of a sudden everyone's at war because no one knew who anyone was aligned with, which is very different from what it is now with NATO, where it's like, there's a lot of ways that NATO could get involved in a war, but at least we know who's in NATO.
Right. It's pretty public. It has to be. That's the point.
So I'm going on a ramble, but the Rage Against the War Machine did not do well, but a lot of people have kind of been grifting off of it. They were able to get $100,000 in donations. And of course, there has been no accounting as to where that money's gone, but it did well enough that a sort of sequel was held in Manhattan back on August 6th. A sort of sequel to the Rage Against the War Machine was held. Now, the People's Party and the Libertarian Party were not the primary instigators of this particular rally. For that, the honor goes to the Schiller Institute, which, if it sounds familiar, it is because that is essentially what the LaRouche people are called now.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And the LaRouche people were a part of the Rage Against the War Machine. Diane Sayre, who is a perennial Senate candidate in New York, was one of the speakers there. She showed up with a couple bodyguards for some fucking reason. I guess if you like Lyndon LaRouche, you might as well emulate his paranoia as well.
Well, yeah, and also, how else are people supposed to know you're a big fucking deal?
Excellent point. I hate it. Excellent point. But they decided to hold a new anti-war rally in Manhattan called Humanity for Peace.
This, just as a side note, this is reminding me of an early Arrested Development episode where the Bluth family is like putting on galas for whatever charity event thing, but finally at some point they forget to pick one, and so they just call it TBD, but then everyone just assumes that TBD stands for disease.
Right.
And so they just roll with it and just take a lot of money for TBD.
Humanity for Peace really does have that too big for its own good nonprofit feel to it. Like, who fucking knows what it's even about? But lucky for us, they do spell it out on their website with their list of demands. For one, they would like to note that since this is occurring on August 6th, it is occurring on the anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. So it gives them the opportunity to kind of co-opt that movement.
That's so girl you don't want to run into at a party, like logic. Like, and by the way, this day was the same day the bombing of Hiroshima.
Right. Yeah, so at least everyone has a theme for their speeches. They can at least, if they're running low on topics, they can hop back to that. And yes, we can all agree atomic weaponry and the usage of it is not great.
It's also National Cat Post Appreciation Day. Like, what is your point?
Yeah. So as we talk through like their four demands, or their four demands, we'll probably get a better idea of why they decided to use this particular date. So number one, they're calling for the immediate ending of all funding and weapons to Ukraine. All right. I was going to say, your sigh says it all in that you agree, and we can move on.
No.
2, convene immediate unconditional peace talks. So the thing behind this is there is a talking point within this movement, this particular pro-Russia, anti-Ukraine movement, that the Vatican has been trying for years to hold a peace summit. And NATO has been holding it up, saying no.
Well, maybe Pope Francis, you should go back in time and unschism yourself, because these people are Eastern Orthodox.
Right. You also can't have peace talks when one side has said any surrendering of our sovereign land is a non-starter, and the other side, their base point is, no, you're going to give us the Donbass and the other territory that's escaping me right now.
Right. When the other side is says like, we're here because Ukraine has always been part of Mother Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's really nowhere for either side to go. And it's this whole thing of, once again, acting like you hate imperialism, but still wanting to use imperialism to get the side you don't like to capitulate. 3, the dissolution of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO.
No.
And 4, there's a demand for a new international security architecture that must be created to end the division of the world into blocs and eliminating geopolitics. This new architecture must take into account the security concerns of every sovereign nation, large or small, except Ukraine in this one instance. But when we're done, then it's gonna be new, then no more.
Is this also like, I mean, this just sounds like where the grift is at, because that's when some Silicon Valley nobody who's 22 years old out of Stanford is like, and I have the system. We'll link it up to Elon Musk's satellite system, and then everyone will have security.
You're absolutely spot on this. The Schiller Institute, I have not seen their answer for this, but I guarantee they have one. and it's probably nonsensical and completely impossible to actually enact.
Excellent.
So those are the 4 demands that this rally forced to enact to make people aware of. Do these seem like things that a rally can accomplish?
I mean, not at all, but I think it's usually good for people to have a hobby.
To get out on a Sunday?
Yes.
Well, they're
Maybe
holding
get
this,
some fresh air.
right. Well, they're holding this at the Dag Hammarskjöld Plaza, which is,
Ooh.
yeah, because initially they were saying that the rally was going to be held right in front of the UN. And 2 problems with that. 1, there are gates in front of the UN,
Yeah.
and only one place you can kind of go through if you're going to be taking tours.
Yeah.
And 2, there's no place on the UN facility to hold protests. That's not a thing.
Right. Nor it's like it definitely wasn't designed that way, you guys.
Right. So there's 2 options if you want to protest at the UN. There is a park right across the street, and it's more so if your protest group is about 50 people. It's really not meant for protesting, but they'll give you a permit if you're just like holding signs and not doing anything. Or you go down a couple streets, turn left, and there is the Dag Hammarskjöld Plaza, which it's about a city block long, fairly thin, but it also includes the, if I remember right, the Dag Hammarskjöld, who was a Swedish economist and a diplomat for the UN, so that's why it's got that name.
Such a great name.
It's very good.
It's a lovely little plaza.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty. So it has a garden in it.
The Katharine Hepburn Garden.
Yeah, there's the name. Yeah. So Katharine Hepburn put all the money towards that park so it would have a garden in it that is continually taken care of and is.
And my was yar.
Yeah, it's just very gorgeous. But it's where the city gives people the most permits to protest there.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so they eventually say that's where they're holding it, and people are kind of pointing out, like, hey, you can't really protest at the UN. Do you have a space? Or are you just planning on getting arrested? What's the deal? So yeah, so they decide that's where they're going to hold it. But if you're going to have a protest, you got to have sponsors. It's like Little League. You can't just get a bunch of kids together to play ball. You got to have people sponsoring the shirts. You got to have people buy billboards in the outfield. Yeah. Otherwise, is it even a protest?
It's like, listen, everything now, Lollapalooza just changed the game.
Hilarious you bring them up, because we will get back to Lollapalooza here in a bit.
Oh no. Okay.
So they end up getting about 20 some odd sponsors, and some of them are what's the word I'm looking for? Really fucked up.
Amazing.
There's 3 of the worst. For that, we're gonna go from the least fucked up to easily the most fucked up.
Excellent.
With each of these, I'm gonna ask you if you're familiar with them before I go on. Okay. We're gonna be starting off with the Black Hammer Party.
I mean, that doesn't sound great. I'm not familiar with them, but are they kind of like a neo brown shirts community?
Kind of, but no. Very kind of, but no. So my initial interaction with the Black Hammer Party was they taped posters to telephone poles in my neighborhood trying to recruit people.
Really?
Yeah. So they were founded in 2019 by a dude who calls himself Gazi Kodzo, and they split specifically from the African People's Socialist Party, which is a pan-African far leftist party. So the Black Hammers are specifically just African American.
Oh, okay.
They end up gaining a surge of members in the wake of the murder of George Floyd, but Kodzo had a different plan for the group than keeping to the far leftist roots. First, he set up alliances with Gavin McInnes and the Proud Boys.
Oh,
yeah. So
keep your enemies close and no friends.
It's the whole idea of like, the class struggle is what is the most important, and any sort of, acknowledgement of race culture, or sexuality is a distraction from the class war. So they are willing to align themselves with people who, quote unquote, don't see race when it comes to the class war, such as the Proud Boys, or another group such as the Neo-Nazi Patriotic Socialist Front. Yeah, who are essentially far left Nazis.
Oh, boy. Oh,
yeah.
God.
But it gets worse. It gets heavily, heavily worse, because Kodzo isn't content just to have a group that's aligning himself with these really bad people, because it's not really going to be something that's satisfying until it becomes a legitimate cult.
Oh.
In 2020, he announces that the group has, quote unquote, liberated 200 acres of land in Colorado with the goal of creating a city for the members of the group that would be called Hammer City. These 200 acres were actually from a subdivision, is really just a nice way of putting it because it is labeled as a subdivision, but it's in the middle of the goddamn high desert.
Yeah.
So no one's buying plots of land there. People have plotted it out, but the number of people buying it are low.
Right.
And so when they say they've liberated the land, it means that they've essentially driven about a dozen people there and just erected tents without anyone giving a shit.
It also sounds like they made some dumbass developers who had originally bought this land
Yep.
to turn into subdivision tracts, made them extremely happy.
Mm-hmm. So in reality, they had actually 40 acres set aside because surprisingly, they did enter into a real estate contract and were willing to pay $100,000 just for the land, which in the high desert is a stupid amount of money to pay for 40 acres of land
that no one else is going to buy.
Right. You could easily haggle down on that. So Kazo had stated, quote, the soil was very rich and that the settlement would be free of cops, money, COVID requirements, and white people. Now, I'm going to ignore those last bits because weirdly enough, I have the biggest issue with him saying that the soil was rich.
Yeah, it's me too.
It's fucking desert. Gazi, you can't grow shit in the fucking desert unless you're like, unless you're growing cactus, like you're really dedicated to growing wine and you're willing to wait about 15 fucking years for it to become drinkable. And this is in Colorado. You're going to be trailblazing growing wine in the fucking high desert.
Yeah, man. Like, what in the oaky dust bowl are you trying to sell me on?
Yeah, it's very much like far right Tom Joad
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I in a Steinbeck novel? No, good sir.
It's fucking silly shit. I'd understand it more if you're in the middle of the woods and you're like, we're going to cut down a bunch of trees and then grow some stuff, which a bad plan, but it's still better than we're going to grow carrots in the desert.
Honestly, like, admit what you actually have and spit into something that people will actually envy, which is Burning Man without white people.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, that is. Uno, you should start a cult then give it away.
I have thought about this often.
You'd be a terrible head for that particular cult. But free idea if you want to start a free cult. Yeah, because Burning Man's gotten so corporate these days. It's fucking bullshit.
No money, no cops. You're out in a desert. White people aren't allowed.
Yeah, we're getting out as soon as the water's gone.
Yeah.
So as you could probably tell, there were issues with this plan. Issue number one, only about a dozen people were there. They brought a couple tents and a car. They did end up building a sort of footbridge over. I saw the picture. It's somewhere between a creek and a ditch.
Love it.
Because it's not like there's water there. So I guess you just had the footbridge in case people want to walk over it and not trip. Seems like a weird use of time when you should just be looking for water.
Man wants to erect statues that show that he has existed. In this case, it's a footbridge.
Right. The bigger problem, though, is that I did mention that this was technically set aside as a housing development, which meant that the few people who were there had already started an HOA.
No.
And growing crops on the land is against the HOA.
Oh my God. Is there no law tighter than a fucking HOA in America?
Look, it's easily the worst plan, not just because you're in the desert, but if you're wanting to start a no white community, why would you buy land that's in a housing association? You've already failed from the jump.
Also, like, it just kills me that like anything can be bypassed, anything can just be ignored except an HOA. It's like the Bible and HOAs. Like, these are the things upon which we swear.
Yeah. And so one of the few people living there was like, all right, they're trying to grow stuff. They're camping. That's not allowed. And, it looks like they're all armed and they've been shooting at signs that are on their property. That's against the fucking HOA because everyone has to have things that look good. So I'm just going to go over there and let them know. He was shot at, clearly more so warning signs, but he was like, okay, I'm just going to go. So this starts a bit of a ruckus in the community. But after a week, they all leave. And this is because on the day that they were supposed to go and sign the contract to officially get the land, no one showed up. They spaced on the appointment and lost their land.
What?
Yep. And then it gets worse. So leaving Colorado, because that whole plan is gone, we're now going to be going to the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. On July 19th, 2022, a SWAT team would descend on a home that they had dubbed Uhuru House, and it was a property in Fayetteville, Georgia. Now, the SWAT team invaded the house because they had gotten word that Kodzo was operating a sort of very weird social service, wherein he would go out into the community and offer shelter to unhoused people at the Uhuru House. The problem, though, is that once these unhoused people were inside the house, they wouldn't let them leave. And I'm going to say this is all alleged because the court case hasn't happened yet. Allegedly would not let them leave, and allegedly started to try to brainwash them to be part of the Black Hammer Party, with some of them saying that they were subjected to physical and sexual abuse by Black Hammer members. So an armed standoff occurred, and the group would surrender, and Kodzo was arrested and charged with kidnapping, assault, and false imprisonment. And Humanity for Peace got the offer from them to be a sponsor, and they said, yeah, that sounds good. They were one of the first sponsors on the poster when the website premiered.
This is the lesser of the evil.
Yeah, this is the least worst of the three I'm going to be talking about.
That's so not good.
It's not.
And I've got so many questions. Like,
ask away.
If you are I don't want to say militant Black, but it's certainly like pointedly African American spin-off group from a Pan-African left group. I don't know if I would go to Colorado, even if the land is cheap. I don't like.
Yeah. But
then again, then they moved to Atlanta, and immediately I'm thinking like, I don't know. They're building that Cop City. That's not like, yeah.
Well, and the other kind of fucked up thing is they raised $100,000 just to buy that land. And when they didn't buy it, they still kept that money.
Well, of course.
Yeah. And so I don't think they used that money to buy a Uhuru House, but, you're running a cult. The traditional thing to do is spend it on yourself.
Yeah.
Which,
on a sponsorship deal.
I mean, at this point, you're spending it on lawyers, but...
that's the real forward thinking.
It really is. Look, every cult honestly, eventually needs a good lawyer on retainer.
Yeah. Take that initial seed money for your cult, throw it into a high interest CD for a few years.
You saw
just
that
ride the wave.
Clearly we weren't thinking about doing that.
The interest pays for the retainer, baby.
I bought Coca-Cola stock and have just been waiting. Yeah. Just getting those dividends, waiting, biding my time, moving to Atlanta. So next we need to move on to the Archangels of Liberty Church.
Oh, that sounds real bad.
Yeah, it's the only church to sponsor this whole thing. There was a bit of weird leftist Catholic stuff going on in the background, though. The Schiller Institute held a series of meetings rolling up to this of people just to come in and talk, to figure out if they want to be part of this movement, to figure out if they're going to do more protests after this. There have been some weird Catholic organizations that have been helping out, at least.
You can just say Catholic organizations.
Pax Christi is one, which is, from what I could tell, a very legit social service organization.
Okay.
The one that I found really, really interesting is the Association of U.S. Catholic Priests. And they're a bit of a controversial group in the Catholic world because one of the big things that they support is allowing priests to get married.
That would be good.
Yeah, it's some real Vatican III shit. It's,
bring it.
From what I saw, no one from Pax Christi or the Association of U.S. Catholic Priests actually spoke at the event, but they were definitely involved in the planning of things. So I'm real disappointed and real confused on some of this, but since they were not sponsors and did not speak at this event, hopefully that meant they backed out. But the Archangels of Liberty Church is a very interesting group. They are not Catholic, as the name would probably lead.
Yes, indeed.
I found a number of red flags with this group. The very first is I'm going to send you a picture of their website.
Okay.
First off, one of the things that I found wrong with this site is they don't list who the pastor is. They don't list, who any deacons are, any support staff, and they don't say when Sunday services are. It's just kind of a website.
It's a website that then gives them credibility for a tax write-off or no taxes.
Ooh. You're already jumping ahead, or at least...
Oh, boy.
At least, yeah. So the one thing they do have is under services, instead of saying this is the time that we're holding our services, when we're doing things, this is when Bridge Club shows up. They do list a thing of services they have where you can get marriage counseling, or, mental health support through faith-based services. They do also offer drug counseling, except when you click it, it goes to a 404 not found page.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to comment on that because the link that you sent me is just a JPEG.
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't know if their website is still up.
It's not, because I tried to just go to the .com, delete all the rest. That was the JPEG,
Yeah.
and it's a 404.
Oh shit, already?
Yeah,
Oh, that was
yeah,
fast. Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yep.
Well, even funnier then is that one of the unique pages they do have is the donation button. You click on that and it sends you to a page where you could donate anywhere from $10 to $500 or a custom amount to the church. They list an EIN number, which you need for the IRS to approve that you're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And so you don't get taxed on this stuff. The problem, though, is when you look at the EIN number, the IRS does not recognize it. Yeah, so we already got us some tax fraud going on.
Yeah. EIN 123450.
And so automatically this piqued my interest when the sponsorship came up. But the utter best is I have to give you at least a little clip here of one of their few sermons that was on their site. So here we go. Watch it at your leisure, and I would love to hear what you have to think.
Everything about this is creepy as hell.
Just, free flow. What's the worst? What's top of the
The
mind?
Uncanny Valley human that has like the same graphics as the Fox NFL like avatar of a player in the corner.
Yes, he's like so close from saying that he went to the U.
Yeah, he really is though. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
that like AI voice that is also like, and it's just like monotone and lulling enough to have like that hypnotic quality that you need when the speech you're delivering is what patriotism is bought in the blood of our armies or some like wacko shit like that.
Right. It is definitely some Christian
happening?
nationalist bullshit going on.
Yes.
So this probably won't surprise you. The face that is talking in this is not a real person. That is an AI individual who looks nothing like the person who runs this church and does the usual sermons.
Yeah, no, it looks like a composite feature of like several minority groups.
Yes.
If you look at it first and it's
Yes.
like, oh, African American, and then you look a little longer and it's like South Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. It's make me a person of color.exe. It is. Just like, I would like to distract people that this is run by a very white person.
Yeah.
And so this is where the real fun begins, because when I did a quick Google search of Archangels of Liberty, only 7 things came up. And one of them is a website called the Liberty Vanguard. And they state that the org and the Archangels of Liberty Church are one and the same, and that they are both, quote, formed in the spirit of the Knights Templar. For those of you luckily enough not in the know, the Knights Templar have very much become a sort of role model for the far, far right in America.
Yeah.
If you start seeing guys saying Deus Vult and walking around with very stylish red crosses, go the other fucking direction, because they are not well.
It's like, it's for people who read Dan Brown immediately after Ayn Rand, and the wires short-circuited in their brain.
It's like, wait, no, these are the good guys, clearly. And thanks to that page, I was able to find out the person who runs this church. And this is going to blow your mind, Una, because I know you're picturing, composite man of color. This is the dude who runs the church.
Oh, I can't wait.
May I introduce you to TJ Cozen?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. TJ's got the aviator. Well, they're not aviator shades. They're just, freaking Sheets's $5 sunglasses on top of his head. But he is a member of the Bucks County, Pennsylvania Libertarian Party who have recently been banned from Twitter for racist shit.
Good Lord, how racist were they that they got banned from Twitter?
I mean, pretty bad, especially considering the New Hampshire Libertarian Party are just out and out white supremacists.
This is what I'm saying. Like, the bar is pretty high to get booted off of Twitter.
Yeah. He's also the founder of a group called Proud American Patriots Network, who initially were going into schools and government areas and protesting any requirements for masking. And after COVID was done, they've kind of pivoted into anti-trans bullshit.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So the fun thing with this group is that an organization called the Atlantic Council looked into them and found out they actually have really, really close ties with the Three Percenter militia group, which the Michigan branch were the people who tried to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer.
That's right. That's
Um,
right.
just a real unstable group of fucks. And one of the 7 links that I was able to find for this church comes from the Michigan Three Percenter website.
Oh, home state. Well, they did get it together. It's just fringe groups.
Yeah. So the thing that really kind of fucks with TJ is that he is also guilty of doing just a fucked pile of stolen valor. He's
Ooh.
exaggerated his rank. He's claimed that he served in combat, but his records don't line up with that. And he also lied about getting the Purple Heart.
Wow.
Yeah. So just a real piece of shit all around.
Yeah.
Oh, but the ultimate thing is he has another connection to the Humanity for Peace rally other than having his weird ass now non-existent tax fraud of a church sponsor it. His company, Theo and Sons, made the shirts and merch. And they also did the shirts and merch for the Rage Against the War Machine.
Man.
And to make things even worse, he is now on a presidential campaign staff for a dude named Mike Termott, who's running for the Libertarian nomination. He's officially their merch guy.
I like I think I'm most annoyed because I feel like 5 to 7% of my graduating class in mid Michigan was guys who look like TJ Kirch. And so it's just like this guy is like wheeling and dealing.
Right.
As
This
a
dude's
far right
succeeding.
radical.
He's succeeding in more. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fucking struggling through life, and this jackoff who fucked up in ways that should get you buried underneath the courthouse is succeeding.
Like I'm trying to look for like the evil genius gleam in the eyes, and I'm getting nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's just wild to me that you get caught in 4K doing stolen valor and you're like, fuck it, I'll endorse an anti-war thing. It just burns. It burns so fucking much. But Una, it's still not the worst.
Good Lord.
I'm going to send you a logo. Now, I want your...
Is it a pelican bathed in its own blood?
Yes, it's... The American Solidarity Party has nothing to do with this. But, you know, if there was a logo of a pelican just bathing in blood, yeah, that'd go hard.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
So, this is a logo that came about 2 weeks before the official rally. Now, when you look at this thing, which, you know, for people at home, it is a black gear with a white center, and in the center is a red hammer in front of 2 red swords that are crossed. When you see this, what do you think?
I get MS Paint, Nazi, and Roman army imagery just kind of mashed up together.
You scored a B+. It's not MS Paint, it's Canva.
Oh my God.
So, you know, MS Paint for designers.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so you know what? B+. But yeah, when this logo came up, I was very intrigued because I'm like, this looks really Nazi-ish. You know, I don't know a ton about Nazi shit, but it doesn't look great. And so I started trying to figure out what this was with the help of Jordan Willow Evans of the Independent Political Report. And so we were trying to track this thing down. And just before Jordan messaged me back, a Twitter user by the name of Menshevik sent me a message saying, oh, here's their website.
Hey.
It comes specifically from a group that was calling themselves the National People's Vanguard. And this is something I didn't know people could say. They're not like other Nazis.
Oh, no.
Apparently, Nazism has different sects and beliefs. And this particular group are followers of Strasserism.
How dare we sit here and assume they are a monolith?
I know, right? It seems like it would be. That's the thing.
There are gradients of anti-Semitism to Nazis.
It's a brown shirt rainbow.
Oh my God.
From beige to shit black. It's like... So Strasserism, from the little bit I was able to glean, because the more I started looking into this, the sadder I got. So I'm just keeping this at a Wikipedia level.
Got it. Yep.
Strasserism was created by a pair of German brothers, Gregor and Otto Strasser. And they were pushing for Hitler to base his strategic efforts more on traditionally leftist workers' issues, as well as, quote, economic anti-Semitism.
Oh, it's like yes, the Jews control the media, but don't we want to unionize too?
Right? It's look, everyone needs a 30-hour work week, 4 days, and also I don't like space lasers.
It's giving 2024 Republican primary field. It's
It's
like, well, yeah, sure, MAGA, great, but listen, isn't government the problem? Like, you can't go back, bro. It's the same tent now, unfortunately.
yeah. So Strassers get kind of mad if you call them Nazis. We'll get a little deeper into that, but
Fucking bad.
it's mostly because of what happened to the Strasser brothers. In 1930, Otto is kicked out of the Nazi party and exiled to Czechoslovakia. Gregor stays, he stays in the party, and in 1934, he's killed during the Night of Long Knives, which is the day that Hitler sent out a bunch of kill squads to kill people that he felt were getting a little too big for their britches, who
Got it,
might
got it.
one day challenge him. And
Yes.
also, that's the night they killed Ernst Röhm, who people will point to as being the gay Nazi, who was leading one of the various militias within the Nazi movement, who was friends with Hitler for quite some time, but a lot of people liked Ernst, and he's got to go.
Yeah, dictator gonna dictate.
Yeah. So Otto ends up spending the rest of his life pushing for a more leftist focused Nazism
A
that has
softer Nazi.
right that ends up getting adopted by such people as Matthew Heimbach, who was the founder of the patriotic socialist movement, which aligned themselves with the Black Hammer Party. But Heimbach is also one of the co-founders of the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Ooh. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just it. At the end of the day, it's like, oh, sorry, you don't like being associated with this. You do realize there are many other political,
Mhm.
social options. They're
Mhm.
not so like you're still at the end of the day choosing Nazis.
Yeah,
Why? Why is
you're
that?
still a fucking Nazi. Yeah.
You're still fucking
Um,
Nazis.
I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that Matthew Heimbach was at the Rage Against the War Machine rally. He
Mm.
was waving what is referred to as a national Bolshevik flag, which is the Nazi flag, but instead of the swastika, it has the hammer and sickle. And National Bolshevism is also a subset of Strasserism. So while he's been saying that he has moved away from Nazism, that he's no longer a white nationalist, these are still people that he associates himself with.
Yeah.
Now, been trying to figure out for a while who is behind the National People's Vanguard. I got some theories. We might find out more about this in the future because, we haven't been able to figure it out just yet. There are some people that we're working with online who, one person in particular, she's dedicated all of her free time to figure out who the fuck is running this and to try to find, like, hard Nazi connections between the rally and this particular group. I think I can go as far as to say, well, the group has stated that they're based in Tennessee. We can at least pin down that they're in the Chattanooga area in southeast Tennessee. And just kind of a side thing, one sponsor did get very mad at us for pointing this out. A dude by the name of Alex Dillard, who is a 19-year-old from the suburbs of San Jose.
Oh God.
He runs about 6 organizations that existed in the 1950s as subsets of the Communist Party, as sort of like their social outreach programs that have been resurrected by, I promise you this is a real name, Angelo D'Angelo, who is a communist activist. He's a communist activist out of Staten Island.
Oh my
Which is
God.
a cursed sentence. But Alex has been running all of these organizations for Angelo that are very clearly fucking fronts for something. They have very few members. I will say, in my opinion, they are fronts to something because he is litigious. He has sued a communist organization for trademark infringement.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that court case is starting in a year, so I don't really have much to talk about in that. But either which way, when I posted all of this information about the National People's Vanguard, well, first, the Humanity for Peace rally blocked us immediately rather than talk about it. It took them about a day to get the logo off of their website. And then they had to keep resetting their website because it got borked about a week before the rally. And they had to put up an older version, and the older version had the logo on the website.
Yes.
That's not them trying to sneak them back in. It just shows how in over their head their webmaster was for this fucking thing.
No.
But Alex Dillard took the time out of his busy schedule to inform both of us that we are feds.
Did he call us psyops?
Yeah, he said we glow, which is a way of saying you are feds in the
What
Wojak,
Oh,
Gen Z thing.
wanking motion.
Yeah. And so This is good to know. I think we just need to message the FBI at some point so we actually get health insurance,
Yeah.
dental. There's probably
Where's
a
my check?
401k.
Let's see. Oh, I'm sure there's great 401k.
Probably like a yearly raffle with the CIA. If they pick your name, you get to pick what nation they overthrow next.
Oh, the softball games would be out of control.
Yeah, the FBI CIA softball game would be fucking
Just
wild.
nothing but tight ass type A. Mm,
Just everyone taking it too seriously at
yes.
points. Oh man, so it's a real bummer. We don't really know who started this group because after we released this, the National People's Vanguard, they did, I believe, blocked us, but they also on their Instagram posted a poster of the rally saying we don't march with liberals and said they were out.
Wait, so they're calling the Nazis liberals?
No, the Nazis are calling the Humanity for Peace people liberals, which I take as an inside joke because liberal is the worst thing you could call the people running this rally.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
the biggest
absolutely.
insult that you could throw at them.
Yeah, no, this is big. Let them fight energy.
Yeah, well, it leads me to kind of believe that the calls coming from inside the house from this particular group, but I don't have any evidence on that. But shortly after that, they deleted their Instagram. They got rid of their website. Their Twitter's gone. The only thing that exists is a weird Rumble account where they have like an 11-second teaser. So the thing that makes this Nazi allegiance really interesting, well, for one, either the Nazi group backed out after a day or they were banned from the Humanity for Peace rally. But it becomes really interesting when you double this up with a post that was discovered by Craig Bowden, who is a libertarian nominee for Senate in Utah. This was a post on a libertarian shitpost Facebook group. Do you recognize what Angela's post is in reference to?
We must secure the existence of our blank and a future for blank children. Nope.
Oh, God. Una, I'm so sorry. This is something that is known as the 14 words, and it is extremely popular amongst Nazis.
Is that why they're always getting 14 tattooed on them?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so the existence of our, I believe that's either culture or race, and a future for white children.
Oh.
And so Angela posted that thing with like a couple of blanks is like a goof 'em up on the Mises Caucus shitpost site on this. And in the past, she on the Tim Pool podcast, Angela also stated that she is a fan of German New Medicine, which is a Nazi medical theory that essentially believes that Jews create disease.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So with, Rage Against the War Machine being another one of the sponsors for this rally, shit's getting a little more obviously Nazi-ish with these things. And rather than address these issues, we just got blocked from the Humanity for Peace rally. It's very disappointing. So we're going to skip this, but one of their last sponsors was a group called American Home Life. And it's one of the most infuriating things I've seen because it's very clearly a page run by a woman in like a 2-decade-long schizophrenic health crisis.
Ooh.
It's bad. It's infuriating that it's there, but I can't think of any way to talk about it that isn't ableist or shitty. So yeah, so those are the three worst sponsors. I mean, the last one did back out, so I can't call the National People's Vanguard a sponsor, but they were there.
They
let them through for a little bit.
And they would have continued to if a plucky podcaster hadn't asked the hard questions that this organization should have asked.
Yeah. Well, and one of the accusations is that Irene Mavroukakis, who's a libertarian, anti-COVID orthopedic person, who was one of the co-hosts of this rally, the accusation was she was in charge of sponsorships and just assumed that it was another communist group due to the hammer. And that's why I asked you, like, what does this group make you think of? Because my immediate thought when I saw this is like, that is some Nazi shit. I don't know who.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, those cross swords is not good.
Not great. No, the Pantone choice of red. Right. Come on now.
And they had a link to their website on the rally website. She could have just gone there and in 2 minutes would have known this is a Nazi group and not include them. But whatever, man. But yeah, you're right. They would have stayed up until the day of the rally, or at least until they got caught. So, day of the rally. Huzzah. There are rallies in many locations. Calling them rallies is a very kind thing. I've seen pictures of how many people arrived at most of them. It's between 3 to 15 in most locations.
Oh, they could have been at the park across from the
They
UN.
could have saved, I don't know if they had to pay for the permit, but yeah, they could have at
Yeah,
least
they
saved
would have
some
had to
money.
pay.
There was a rally in Chicago. I was tempted to go, but Chicago LaRouche are traditionally known to be very abrasive and violent, or at least during the 80s they were. They're probably not so much now, 40 years later. But from the picture I saw, there were about 5, and they posted up on Michigan and Ida B. Wells,
Okay.
which was one of the entrance locations for Lollapalooza.
Oh my God.
Which I'm sure for them, they thought, oh, we're going to get a lot of Gen Z people walking by and we'll get some interest. You're going to get yelled at for days, and then no one's going to hear you when the sets start.
No, you're gonna have to put up with teenagers on Molly.
Oh my,
It's a terrible place to be.
it's not the best idea at all. So my bigger idea was, yeah, I'm not going to go down there because Lala's fucking insane, and
Yep.
transit's already, it's getting better after, the COVID worst parts, but it's still not as good as it was.
Nope.
I don't got to do that. So the New York rally in particular, it is on YouTube and you can watch it at your leisure. They never showed the crowd.
They learned from last time.
We are going to play the game that when I send you some clips, I would ask you to guess how many people are in the audience.
Oh, incredible. Okay.
I think it's a good place to start out. How would you describe their setup for this event? You're speechless. I imagine you're impressed.
It looks like the awards ceremony after a company brunch.
Oh, God. Fuck, that's mean. Accurate, but mean. There's a podium that is covered by a Party City banner that was clearly not measured for size.
Nope.
A Humanity for Peace placard. I think they got it Kinko's. The podium is very clearly a reading. I think they got it from a college because there's a little brass reading lamp on it that it's the middle of the day. They have no reason to turn that on, so I don't know why it's there. And a microphone. In the back is the sort of backdrop that you would see at a shitty red carpet event for a movie that no one saw.
Yep.
And my personal favorite, the one speaker on a pedestal held up by a guy, but also their PVC pipe banner for their road project where they want to build a series of roads and trains, like one road that goes around the world. Which I think we talked about during the Rage Against the War Machine.
Did. I forgot about it, but yes.
Yeah, they just really want to make that happen. So before the rally, I should say, how much would you assume this costs for them to rent? Sound alone.
Oh, sound alone? Well, probably like $150 for the speaker.
You're a fucking fool. That is $1,000 worth of equipment.
No.
$1,000 was donated by Nick Brana and Angela McCardle and the Rage Against the War Machine specifically for this sound system.
Oh no.
The thing that makes it even more fun, there are actually 2 microphones there. There's one microphone on the podium that is not attached to anything, and then there's an actual standing microphone in front of the podium that's there.
Oh, I work with AV guys. I know enough to know that this hurts.
I mean, if it's gotten that expensive to buy sound equipment, I don't know how anyone does theater in New York City.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So before this whole thing started, there was a series of pre-recorded videos that people could watch before the rally started. One had Nick Brana. Nick was scheduled to speak, but he got bumped. I hate to say that was a huge mistake. He got bumped for people who were just not very good public speakers, and we won't be talking about just because they weren't very interesting. But he did have a pre-recorded speech. But I'm just going to show you, I'm not going to play the speech because it's dull and boring, but I will show you the surprising guest who got to speak ahead of time. That is Robert
RFK Jr.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. taped a pre-recorded video in what I assume to be a Comfort Inn and Suites. Talking about how
shirt that doesn't fit.
Oh my God. Well, it's because he's so ripped.
Boo.
The funny thing about this is Jose Vega, who is a LaRouche activist who is very good at doing the one thing LaRouche activists do, which is yelling until you're thrown out of a room, showed up to an event that RFK was at in New York City, yelled until he was thrown out of the room, and then online made a request to try to get RFK booked for this rally.
You got to appreciate the chutzpah.
You're not wrong. I mean, I do not like Jose Vega as a person, but he clearly has more confidence than I do when it comes to asking people to do something. And I hate to say it, but I think if they started asking RFK like a month ago, he probably would have been the headliner for this event.
Wow, but he wasn't this time around?
They asked him, I think, shortly before the event. They were really pushing about 2 days before the rally, and that's
What?
yeah, if you're running a presidential campaign, even one as shitty as
Yeah,
RFK, that's not enough time.
for anyone.
Right, right. Like I wouldn't
Like
ask
my
someone for dinner,
friends. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Hey, can you help me move in
Back
two
out. Yeah.
days?
Oh.
Yeah. It'll be incredibly not worth it, and almost no one will be there. But yeah, I was gonna play his speech, but it's so fucking uninteresting. It's just not fun. But so we start things off with the LaRouche Peace Chorus. I think this is one that I'm gonna play until you decide to tap out, because the LaRouche organization is known for loving the fine arts, and
Mm,
they sing in what is known as Verdi tuning, which they
that's
believe,
right.
yeah, any other tuning is the devil's work, which one person legit, like Helga Zepp-LaRouche, thoroughly believes. I know it's in a different key. I don't think anyone's singing in the same key.
Don't I know this Hashem, Hashem? Don't I know this 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 Hashem?
It's yeah, I'm trying to think if like I've probably heard a recording of Dom Nome Pacem like not sung in this style.
Mhm.
And it's like sweeping and grand and
Yeah,
this and granted they're just out in some steps and
yeah.
everything, but it sounds so bland.
It's not great. From what I watched, half of the chorus gives up.
Okay, because that was the other thing, and I even mentioned to you, like I think the sound might be going out.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I'm watching this over Zoom, so like I don't know.
yeah. Like this, the right side is singing, the left side, like this guy stops. This guy did not come to any practice. This woman's just moving her placard on her sandal. This guy wore a mask for the sole reason of not having to sing. It's not exactly riveting, but this is how they started off.
I mean, God, I want to say that it's, a little more feminine energy, a little bit more like,
Yeah,
inclusion but I know it's not that. This just sucks.
yeah. It's just a bunch of old people who couldn't make it into their senior choir, standing on the steps while tourists walk by.
Yeah.
Based on this, how many people are in the audience?
Oh no. You're gonna tell me that like this was the audience.
I mean, initially I thought that. I think my
Okay.
best guess is I think it tops out at 50 people. It's my
Okay.
best guess.
Yeah. So I'm gonna guess there are 30 people in the audience.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the choir is the audience. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, these are all LaRouche people, so it definitely doesn't bode well that, 95% are gonna be dead within 10 years. They,
Oh,
they really need to start recruiting and quick.
they were right to go to Lala.
I mean, true. So we're going to skip from here on to the very first speaker, a woman by the name of Reverend Dr. Terry L. Strong. The Reverend Doctor is an actual pastor. She's mostly known online for being very against COVID mandates. She occasionally will shill out invitations over to Getter, which is the ultra conservative version of
Oh
Twitter that
yeah.
isn't Gab or
Or
Truth
truth.
Social.
Yeah.
It's the third one.
Christ.
Yeah, and she's a huge fan of RFK. She is just
Oh boy.
really just an immense piece of shit. Her opening line really belays that someone who probably does do a fair number of sermons, but does not do much speaking outside of that.
Oh no.
As I begin, I want to say the time to talk about peace is before the war begins. The time to talk about peace is before any war begins. The definition of war, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, says it's a state of armed conflict between different countries or different groups within a country, a state of competition or hostility between different people or groups, or a sustained campaign against an undesirable situation or activity.
No, she didn't.
That she did. She started with the clippy, I see you're writing a speech, the definition of blank in the Oxford English Dictionary or the Merriam-Webster Dictionary if you're a filthy commie.
Are you sure I'm not actually watching some bizarro world Smith College convocation?
Oh my God. They already paid me. I am doing the minimal amount of work. I was screaming with that. A nice little side note, too. The Chiron has misspelled her name.
No, they didn't.
On this, Terry is spelled with a Y. Her name is spelled with an I.
They did not do that to that poor woman.
It is, look, she's a piece of shit, but also like, this is basic shit. So a lot of her speaking, I am going to go through because if we watch this whole thing, it would be 2 hours and we don't have the time to fucking do that. Yeah. Woof indeed. You know, a lot of her stuff, it's the old trope of using dichotomies to sound smart, of just like, you know, the cure to weakness is strength, and the cure to hunger is satiation. Like constantly just using synonyms to make it sound like you're doing big speaking.
Yeah, paralleling.
Right. Yes.
Like, as if because because a speech and rhetoric teacher in 9th grade told you that that's what MLK and JFK did in their speeches. Well, and ignoring the fact that they grew up reading King James Bible and like actually like speaking
and built on those ideas, didn't just feel like that's the idea. Like Terry does open with the time to talk for peace is before the war happens. That should be the thesis of your speech, and then you grow from there. She does not. That is just a statement.
Like she pivots hard into Webster's dictionary, defines peace as.
I also just want to know, in the history of every war, when have people been like, look, we got to hold off the war to talk about how not to have the war, where both sides are clearly like very calm thinking individuals and not just sociopaths climbing the ladder to power.
Yeah. Everyone who's ever been in a union that has gone on strike is like staring hard at this opening. Yeah.
The time to get paid more is before the strike.
We negotiated, and then the other side said, fuck off. And so we said, right, we're striking.
So, you know, most of her speech is that. But then we get the second of 3 musical interludes of the time.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, we are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony.
Thoughts?
No.
Look, there's an old theater bit where you're an alto or you're a tenor, and then the song starts, but the key change keeps going up a half step, and the joke is you're like screaming the soprano part. The Reverend Doctor's an alto. 90% of the song is soprano.
Yeah. Once again, I'm just like, did the Zoom feed? Nope. No, it didn't cut out.
Nope.
Nope, she didn't hit that note.
No, she did not. The song does go on. The key keeps going higher. She does not stop. And for $1,000, that sound system is not helping. I'm gonna skip ahead about 20 minutes. Next, we have Scott Ritter, who is just like an astounding piece of shit in a lot of regards. So the main reason that Scott sucks is that He's a pederast, I guess is the way to put it. He has been arrested multiple times and convicted at least once for soliciting an underage individual over the internet.
Oh, yes, because I hear Scott Ritter, I was like, it's the kind of name where that always makes me think, like, was he in Full House? No, he's
No, he was not. This is not Dave Coulier.
Wasn't he like a 90s sitcom?
Oh God,
persona?
no, you're thinking
Who
the
am I
Good
thinking of?
Ritters. Like
Oh,
Jason Ritter's dad. John Ritter.
John Ritter, that's right.
Yeah,
But this
no.
is Scott Ritter, who's
Yeah.
a pederast.
Right. And his supporters will say, no, he is not a pederast because both times he got caught doing this, it was cops doing it and they weren't underage. So technically, vis-a-vis, not a pedophile.
Right. The cops weren't underage. It's just that their entrapment happened to work.
Look, cops just have to start hiring 13-year-old girls. I hate to say it. I hate to be that person, but
No, Dusty.
fuck the cops also hire 14-year-old children.
Well, in more and more states, you're allowed to. So
give them guns and fire all the other cops. But yeah, Scott Ritter used to be a weapons inspector and then was very anti-war during the Bush years. And it was during the Bush years that he got caught soliciting children. He was supposed to speak during the Rage Against the War Machine, but people threatened to drop out if he did.
That's right.
No one threatened to drop out for this one, so he gets to speak. For the most part, he does his typical spiel, but I think he has some really interesting things to say here about language, especially language within the world of the nuclear community.
But you know, the people in the world today that have the ability to employ nuclear weapons don't just speak English. They speak Russian, they speak Chinese, they speak North Korean, they speak French, they speak Indian, they speak Urdu. Hindu, I guess I should be accurate. Apologize out there. I'm a Marine. Sometimes I say things that I shouldn't. But
he names two languages that don't really exist.
They speak Mexican. They speak.
Oh my God. Look, we all know we speak American. You speak the language of your country plus Ian.
They speak Canadian.
I mean, yeah. So when he says they speak North Korean, the official language in North Korea is called Monwal, which is essentially a North Korean dialect of Korean. So technically, I guess if you were kind of being brash about it, you could say they speak North Korean, but it's also not accurate to say.
Because you don't say South Korean for Hangul.
Right. And, it's also very much in the same vein of Arabic. If you say you speak Arabic, Moroccan Arabic is extraordinarily different from Yemeni Arabic.
Yeah.
And so it really helps to put that signifier in front of it. So he's not as far off as he could be with that one. Now, when he says they speak Indian.
Oh boy.
There are 23 official languages in India. Hindi is the one that is most spoken by the population, with 43.6% of people speaking it as a first language in India.
I feel like also the most recognized as a national language for people outside of India.
Right. It's like, he could have been all suave and been like, they speak Gujarat, or, hopefully once again, probably not saying that right, but you have 23 options of what you could say, but instead you're just going to be like, they speak Indian, and good on them for saying they speak Urdu instead of Pakistani, but that boat's already sailed. You're already underwater at this point.
Right, and then that trips his brain into realizing he made him sound functionally literate just a second ago.
Like he's speaking on world issues. And if you're speaking on world issues and you say, well, they're speaking Indian, you have to leave the stage and walk into the ocean. There's no other choice. I don't care who you are. If you're Dan Rather, out of the studio, into the ocean, you're done.
Unplug that mic and just say goodbye.
It was good while it lasted. But yeah, and so this also leads me to believe that Scott Ritter did not bring a written speech with him. He's just, going riffing on this. Yeah, he's riffing what he always talks about. This is just memorized for him. So that's about the only interesting thing he says, because everything else just sounds like shit I've heard before. But this is where things get really, really fucking fun. Gerald Celente, pictured here with the sound guy. Sound guy who is probably the most put upon person in this entire thing, because he has to adjust the standing mic every time someone new goes up there.
They don't know how to adjust a mic?
They might, but he's the one who definitely knows how.
Is it a union job? Are they not allowed?
It might be a union job.
That
might be why
is.
it's $1,000, because you had to get a union sound guy.
Yeah, because this is New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he clearly knows what he's doing. To be fair, only one speaker gets mad at him. It's Mike Termont, who's the Libertarian presidential guy. He doesn't say really anything interesting, but at the beginning, he does make a passive-aggressive remark about loving being interrupted during his speech when the sound guy goes up there and adjusts the microphone. And then for the rest of the speech, it's nothing but pops and peaking the mic. And it's just the sound guy just sitting back. It's like, oh, yeah, you want a union guy to help you? You want me to help you now? Oh, there's wind. Wish I could do something.
Yeah.
Or we're going to play a bit of Gerald Celente because he speaks a bit different than anyone else there.
Here we are at the United Nations. United nothings. Yeah, baby. United nitwits. Yeah. Where are all you United Nations for peace? How about pieces of crap? Hey, look at that United Nations, the American ambassador to the United Nations. I remember her well, Madeleine Albright. How about Madeleine not all that bright?
There's nothing worse than an old guy trying to resurrect a Lenny Bruce bit.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's 100% what's going on here. I love the fact that the most recent UN ambassador he can think of is Madeleine Albright.
Because one, she was just like a prominent woman. So boom, done. Like, if you're feeling a little tired talking about Hillary Clinton, you got Madeleine Albright. Just go for it.
It's like the current ambassador of the UN is a woman. So if he wanted to be like that pissed at another, the misogyny's just right there if you want it.
Yeah. And I think Madeleine Albright was Jewish.
Oh, yeah, that too.
So, boom.
So Madeleine Albright, the U.S. UN ambassador in 1997.
Come on.
There have been plenty of people that you could talk about since then, but no, because none of them are, you can make the joke of Madeleine not all too bright.
Nope. You need to workshop it a bit.
Which he clearly hasn't done. This is obviously his tight five that he's no longer allowed to do at the Comedy Cellar.
Yes. He is not allowed back.
The Madeleine Albright that's on 60 Minutes with Leslie Stahl. And Leslie Stahl asks Madeleine, are the deaths of over 500,000 Iraqi children under the age of 5 worth the sanctions that Bill Clinton and his war activities have caused? Yeah, that's the Bill Clinton that every time he got caught with his pants down, it's bombs away over Baghdad. Yeah, and Madeleine Albright says, yes, it is. America, in the back of all the currencies, in God we trust. What God you talking about? Oh, hey, where are all the Seventh-day Adventists here? You waiting for the 8th day? Hey, where are all you Quakers? You died in an earthquake?
Yeah, call out the Seventh-day Adventists of the fucking Quakers. Pieces of shit.
The people who have just been doing the work of resisting service in the military. And oh my God. It's just like, it is so weird to see people like still so trapped in their anger for the Clinton era. And it's like, yeah, we're all aware that there were problems, but like, I'm pretty sure, having lived through it, that the Iraq invasion was during the Bush administration.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
You're talking about shit that happened 30 fucking years ago. You're bringing up Leslie Stahl, and yeah, the audience is clearly aged, so they might get that reference.
They're living for it.
But what? Yeah, I love the one boo in the background that's very far away when he mentions Leslie Stahl. It's nonsensical. And then the thing I love about this, he's already mad at the Quakers and the Seventh-day Adventists, and then it gets worse.
Where are all the religions? How come you're not here speaking out for the God that you say you love and adore to bring peace on earth, goodwill to all? Where are you? It's a disgrace.
3 people clap. Gerald Celente is clearly pissed off that no one showed.
Oh man, what a nutter. Yeah, he's just so angry for no reason.
Would you be surprised to know that this guy was on Alex Jones for quite some time?
Wow,
Guest.
That would be shocking. Dusty.
Yeah. He's the publisher of something called the Trends Journal, where he predicts what's going to happen in the future.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, he's very good at editing what does happen and then acts like that's what he said. So Gerald ends up giving his tight 5 in just a pure rage and fury for quite some time. The next guy, dude by the name of Garland Nixon, who was at the Rage Against the War Machine rally, decides to take a different approach. He's mad that people didn't show up, but he thinks there's a reason for that.
I have to go with my timer because I'm just OCD like that. I may go like 1 second over and then I totally freak out. So what I'd like to do is talk to a different group. I love you people, love you all, but we got to talk to some of the people who are in this group. Certainly we've got some people here from Langley, Virginia, from the Hoover building, the FBI building. You know you're there. Thank you for helping to fill out the crowd.
He's talking about us.
But what I'd like to say, and it's going to go somewhere, is to the people who are doing this stuff. And I'm going to say 2 words that pops into everybody's mind: bomb shelter, right? When you say they're doing this, most people are going to say, yeah, but they're not scared because they got bomb shelters and they figured that they'll blow us all up and they'll go to their bomb shelters and they'll all be good, right? Which I think there's probably some validity. Most people think kind of, raise your hand. You kind of have that feeling they got bomb shelters and maybe that's part of the plan. Okay, so to them, I'd like to throw this out to you. Just think about the people. You know you're watching it right now. Eventually, let's just say your plan goes down and you end up in the bomb shelter. Because right now, what are they afraid of? They're afraid that the little people will all wake up and rise up against their totalitarian ways and take over things, right? Well, let's just say they get what they want. They end up in a bomb shelter. So there they are in the bomb shelter. Now, in a bomb shelter, you're a billionaire, you're Bill Gates or somebody, you're a senator, you're whatever. You're in the bomb shelter, you're living good. But in a bomb shelter, and being who you are, you got to have cooks, and you got to have security, and you got to have people that do things for you, right? Littles, nobodies that clean up and all that kind of stuff, right? Now, when you were out here, you were worried about all the littles rising up against you. But in that bomb shelter, and I know you're watching, at some point, the security people and the cleaning people will start to think, and they'll start to meet, and they'll start to say, you know what? They can't really pay us because there ain't no banks to cash our checks. And if we did, what would we spend them on? We can't go outside because everything's new. It's kind of boring. We're eating powdered eggs. We're drinking our urine that's been purified over and over. That's where we're going to do the rest of our lives. And at some point, they'll realize, wait a minute. In the other luxurious side of this bomb shelter, we got a bunch of billionaires and senators and all these people telling us what to do. But there ain't no such thing as billionaires and senators anymore because all that's behind us.
Are you following?
No, I am here for the ride.
Yeah.
Like, more than anyone else, I'm just like, that's so nice of him to like validate the paranoia of those in the audience by saying like, no, I see you seeing the undercover agents. We're all in on it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you know what, Garland? Tell me a tale.
Yeah, he's weaving
Give me
a tapestry.
yarn. Yeah. It's like, I honestly, like, this could take a shift into some very radical pro-union agenda. I know it's not. And as a result, I'm kind of curious where it's going.
All right.
So in reality, in the same way that the rules-based international order means might makes right, I can do what I want to do because I got a bigger military, right? Fangs and claws, back to the days when whoever had the biggest fangs and claws ruled the forest, right? At some point, they're going to realize we're security. We got guns. And we're chefs and cooks. We got knives. And on the other side of this bomb shelter is a bunch of billionaires who are out of shape and they ain't got no weapons. And your biggest fear in this world that we were in, if you get in that bomb shelter, at some point your biggest fear will come true there. And they'll wake up and say, wait a minute, we got the guns, we got the knives, they can't pay us, and they'll come over and have a little talk with you. And they will say, we've come to realize that you guys aren't senators, you're not billionaires. They'll come to realize that everybody's the same, except they got guns and knives and you don't. That's going to be the thing. That the rules-based international order in the bomb shelter is simply going to be the people with the weapons and the power, and the most people are going to have the power. And at that point, you will meet your fate. At that point, the thing that you feared that people here, that the average, regular, everyday, working class person would wake up one day and would rise up against you, at that point in your bomb shelter, that is bound to happen. There's no way that doesn't happen. There's no way that people sit in a bomb shelter for 6 months, 8 months, or a year and don't start to kind of philosophize and realize the power dynamics, and you are going to lose in the worst possible way. And they're going to realize that all of their family is dead, that everything they know is gone, and you're the ones that did it.
Did it go where you thought it would?
I still don't know what his point is.
Oh, don't start a nuclear war.
Right. Because
you're 2 minutes.
Because you're going to end up in a bomb shelter with the help.
Mm-hmm.
And the help's going to come and kill you anyway. Yeah.
It's a good spec script.
It really is. It's the best version that it could be.
Yeah, it's pretty much a chapter from World War Z now that I think about it.
Yes, and that was another thing that I kept thinking about listening to this, because it's like the surety that his commitment to the bit and like leading you into this image of like, no, you're definitely going to be in this bomb shelter also with a full staff who has since lost their whole family.
Yeah.
And
which is just bad planning. If you have a staff, you make room for their family.
We can't even go down this road, Dusty. This is the same thing that happened when I read Zombie Guidebook, also by Max Brooks.
Yeah.
And it's written like so matter-of-factly and like with so much information. And after a while, it's like, this is all information that I will never use because it's talking about a fucking zombie apocalypse.
Right.
I need to put this down because I want to eventually use all of this information that I have now acquired.
He had to make a whole horror genre be the ruler of our media for about a decade because that information felt so vital.
Yes. It had to be released somehow.
Otherwise, what are we going to do? Like make bunkers?
No, we're going to take over a lab and start to like try to create zombie life so that we can then kill it effectively because we're so smart, because we read the whole handbook.
I fucking need this.
I need it. It's also my primary problem with preppers.
Yeah.
It's like, you're gonna start a nuclear holocaust because you need to, because you've stockpiled 2 years worth of corn.
Right. Do you want to get to the point where the rice you stored up is rotting away? That you had to wait that long and that happens? You're gonna go mad.
So kudos, Garland Nixon.
Yeah. I will say he was the best speaker of this whole thing. I mean,
absolutely, because he knew his audience. He knew
exactly.
From the jump, he knew who his audience was.
Yeah, and true to his word, he was in and out. He was not going long.
Love it.
So we are going to skip through a bit of this because it does get kind of boring throughout the second half. Diane Sayre does show up. She has one less bodyguard than usual, but he is there in the background.
Oh my God.
Her one line that really caught my ear is that, quote, Anglophile sounds a whole lot like pedophile.
But no, it doesn't. And it's...
I mean, if you're using Latin root words as like the win, I guess. Oh.
Again, so what is your point? Like, what you're suggesting isn't how language works.
Right. Well, it's more of a LaRouche in-joke because Lyndon thought the Queen of England was trying to kill him for a good 50 years. I think it's more of a joke for the crowd and not for anyone.
All right. We just don't get it.
Right. So we're going to be skipping past people here a lot. There's Muhammad Salim Akhtar, who was essentially a state senator in Pakistan for a number of years. There is Amadou Diallo, who is running a Guinean American group that, weirdly enough, was started as a lobbying group against the last president of Guinea, who was recently ousted in a coup. And weirdly enough, he doesn't have anything to say about that coup during this rally. There's a dude named Jude Ely who's running for president of Haiti, but he hasn't lived in Haiti for 15 years, so he's going the Wyclef Jean route.
Oh boy.
Does it bring up the fact that the guy who's currently president of Haiti is essentially postponing elections for as long as he can?
Yeah, I mean, good luck with that.
Yeah, it's wild. So we're going to skip to a guy named Aaron Day. Now, Aaron Day looks like he's in a Offspring cover band.
Yes, he does. Holy shit.
He's running for the Republican nomination for president of the United States.
No, he looks like he's running for the nomination for Republican campus president.
Right. Who sang Kryptonite? 3 Doors Down. We need to bring 3 Doors Down back to campus, and I will do that.
I want Queens of the Stone Age, and I want them here now.
So I'm not going to play this because it's mostly a campaign speech, but one of his big things with his campaign is he wants to create an artificial bank run. And he wants to do this by getting people to exchange all of their money from their bank and exchange it for gold, silver, and or crypto. And he believes that if you can get 3% of the population to do this, it will crash the world banking system.
Oh, God. Or a lot of people will just lose their old money.
Right. I mean, which crypto? Which crypto is safe for you, Aaron? Which crypto have you bought in and really need other people to buy? Which meme coin is it?
I need them all. Yeah, I need everyone to take out all of their money. Every single penny's worth.
My wife is divorcing me and my lawyer doesn't take Ethereum. It is really fun. You can buy his campaign book, The Final Countdown, from Amazon for $24.99. I don't want to get sued. But the funny thing is the only place you can buy it is Amazon, and they do not accept gold, silver, or crypto. So what the fuck, Aaron? He's also not raised any money. So
I guess no one's listened to him. Yeah, taking out all their cash.
So I'm skipping past Mike Termott, who is mostly just an asshole, who from people I've talked to, he's an asshole. Malcolm Byrne, he's mostly a music producer from Canada. He won a Grammy for producing one of Loretta Lynn's albums in the early 2000s. I think he wins the award for being the most boring speaker in this whole thing because all he does is quote music lyrics and other poems. And he does it with just no charisma. So I'm going to skip to this part. This guy who is up next, his name goes by J.R. Heffelfinger. He is a documentarian, and he's brought in because he did a documentary on Hiroshima that on the day of the rally was being aired across the country by PBS.
Oh, wow.
He seems like a legitimate guy. He was one of the last minute additions. I don't think he's 100% sure who these people are.
Oh, buddy.
He also brought a trumpet for the third musical interlude. I will spoil it. He plays Auld Lang Syne. He plays it very well. He's the most talented musician. But the reason I'm going to play this is because the Catholic Church across the street has recognized that it's 2:15 p.m.
Our next guest and amazing speaker is J.R. Heffelfinger. Thank you so much for speaking.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe I should wait for that song to stop.
So the thing I love about this is he says, maybe I should wait for the song to stop, as if Catholic bells are a short thing.
Yeah.
These 2:15 bells go for about a fucking minute.
Hell yeah.
And so he's just standing around waiting, emptying his spit valve, tuning his trumpets. Come to think of it, it's not that interesting, but I just thought you would find it very funny.
I do love it.
This whole thing just gets interrupted by a Catholic church that has not played bells all day, but it's 2:15. Like, fuck it. So he's probably one of the better speakers because he can actually talk about Hiroshima, and he's one of the few people that can talk about it with honesty and, reverence.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes him a very not interesting speaker because he honestly cares.
Yeah, because that's not what we're here for.
Right. And Jose Vega ends up being the closer, and he says nothing. It's essentially the sort of speech you give when you're telling people, like, hey, be sure to get your coats at checkout, and, we'll see you next time. And so Irene Mavrotakis and Anastasia Battle, she's the other woman who you see on there. She is a Larouchian who started their fine arts magazine. They close things out.
Humanity for Peace represents something new. It's a new movement. What everyone should realize here is that the coalition that forms the basis of Humanity for Peace consists of groups from across the political spectrum, from the left, the right, the middle, and the like.
I don't want to make fun of her, but this is an SNL sketch.
Yeah, the purpose of the end speech is a call to action. You leave people energized to do work, and cut rate Molly Shannon is just
cut rate Molly Shannon from the Molly Shannon and Anna Gasteyer NPR sketches.
Yes.
Like, just no,
this is the woman who let the Nazi group through.
Well, now I believe it, that she just looked at the logo and was like, they're communists. Yeah, I absolutely believe it.
Yeah, it's very fucking
I'm not going to click on their link.
I am a boring individual and I don't have time to do anything.
The rallies for Humanity for Peace are all across the world and this nation. And this rally represents the beginning of the movement, where we will take human action to collect ourselves into groups of people that will implement real change in our legislatures, our governments, state, local, and federal. Thank you so much for coming, Anastasia.
I'm going to be petty as fuck. The way she ended that sounded like she was just thanking one person.
I thought it sounded like such a it was such a jarring way to be like, and now Anastasia, like I'm assuming that's the other person's name, right? Like, right. Okay, Anastasia. Like,
yeah. Now we're gonna watch DreamWorks' monumental masterpiece, Anastasia.
Anastasia. You just know she started her own lit mag at college because no one else wanted to deal with her.
Oh, that is, as they say in Achewood, saddest song played on worst violin.
Yes. Thank you, Irene Mavrakakis. I couldn't have done this without you. This has been an amazing event. I'm actually been trying the whole day not to cry, looking at everybody else in the audience and everybody coming here today. Bravo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank all of you for coming out today and refusing to give in to all of this nonsense. All of this nonsense has been shoved down our throats to prevent people from action. And so, like other speakers, I want to encourage, I too am an interventionist. I want to encourage others to join us in nonviolent direct action. This is a new movement for peace that has come about in the world. We must organize like crazy to stop nuclear war. And we're planning more events. Coming up September 1st, we'll be planning an event. Please keep your eyes and ears out. We will let you know. Make sure you sign up on the website. We will keep you involved, humanityforpeace.net, and we'll be planning more rallies and interventions around the world as well. Thank you. Join us at the church today at 6.
Oh, I forgot to mention, at 6 o'clock, that shitty chorus that started is going to be singing Mozart's Messiah.
No.
The whole thing.
No.
For peace.
With all the emotion taken out.
Yeah. Also, they mentioned there are going to be a few spirituals being sung as well by that same group.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. It's going to be at a Unitarian church, and I can never forgive them now. But yeah, there's another rally coming up on September 1st. No word of it's on the website. I've been checking the Twitter and, on my phone because, hey, guess what? You can't block my other account you don't know about, you fucks. Yeah, no, they haven't said shit. There's another event coming up in what is now 2 weeks and no word. So, yeah. I don't know. It feels really good they stopped nuclear war. I'm feeling pretty good about that. It was well worth, bringing on Nazis, an tax dodging church, and a pedophile. And,
This could have been a great community picnic, but no.
Right. Oh my God.
You had to spend $1,000 on sound.
Mm-hmm. And fucking RFK endorsed this mess. So, yeah. Any final thoughts on the Humanity for Peace rally?
It was still the saddest commencement address of a for-profit university I've ever been invited to.
Yeah. You don't go to many commencements where there's 10 speakers and all of them are equal versions of worse than each other. It is really weird to see all these grifts come together under one umbrella, where you have the
Rat King griff.
Right, where it's like the Mises Caucus and the People's Party and Alex Dillard's group of zombie communist organizations, the Black Hammer Party and the LaRoucheites, and just for all of them to come together and it result in 50 people showing up. When I was watching the stream, it peaked at 100 viewers. They shut down the group chat, not because half of it was full of people making fun of the event, which was 2, but because no one was chatting.
Oh my God.
It was a disaster. Any way you cut it. And I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, of course, it's a LaRouche organization. They're just going to keep doing these rallies on the cheap, getting the money that they can. But this is everything harmful to people who are trying to act like they matter. This is devastating for Angela McArdle and the Mises Caucus. Or at least it fucking should be. Which is actually a good way to end this because, you know, I don't want to end on just the sad thing of people clapping in the middle of downtown Manhattan acting like they've done something, because the Libertarian Party is actually doing something in the next week. Angela has hired someone new to be the head of fundraising for the Mises Caucus and the Libertarian Party, a dude by the name of Austin Paget. And one member of the Libertarian Party who's still hanging on noticed that Austin Paget and Angela are dating. Also, Angela's child is due to Austin. And it kind of seems like, because he doesn't have any fundraising experience, that this might be a shady hire.
Oh no.
So in the next week, there has been a call to oust Angela McArdle as the chairwoman of the Libertarian Party.
Wow, okay.
A vote is going to occur. It hasn't yet, unless she can do some sort of coup to kick everyone out of the party that's going to vote against her, which could happen.
A vote.
But something has actually happened in the wake of this because, you know, it was her supporting a Nazi organization by default by supporting this, and her Nazi shit that started to come out in the wake of all of this that has mostly led to her maybe getting fired.
It's certainly a little bit more of the spotlight.
Yeah.
On her actions. Interesting. Okay.
So, you know, I at least want to end on some happiness.
Yeah.
We'll see where that goes. But Una, thank you for joining me on this long and rambling clip-filled episode, which we rarely have. I doubt we're going to be covering their September 1st thing because I haven't seen any news about it. Knowing the Schiller Institute, it's just going to be people sitting in a tiny little room and talking about shit. But we'll see. But yeah, everyone, thank you all for joining us this week, and we'll see you next time here on Gadfly. Gonna call do, but make sure they're nice. Gadfly is a production of Added Serotonin. Our episodes are edited by Brianna Valentine of Rem Alternus Productions. Our theme song is Sophomore Makeout by Silent Partner, and you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at GadflyPod.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?